Let's talk about Fox Champion, because almost this time last year you were thinking that Fox Champion would win the Coventry, but sadly was forced to miss that literally on the day of the race. But that may have been a bit of a blessing in disguise, because he seems to have really matured over the winter and come back a real strong 3-year-old, isn't he?
He has. The funny thing about him is he never really wins by far. He'll win by half a length. And you look at his runs, every single run, he's got significantly better. And his last win was the German Guineas Group 2. And he made all the running and stuck his head out and was very tough. He's got it all to do in the St James Palace Stakes, but it wouldn't surprise me. He's very tough, he's improving, and he's a very good horse. But whether he's good enough for them or not, we'll find out.
I mean, when he went over in Germany, that was his first time over a mile.
Yeah.
I mean, there aren't many options in all fairness, are there, over 7 furlongs? But could you consider dropping him back?
Jersey or St James Palace Stakes, and whichever one he goes to will depend on what King Power want to do, where they've got their other horses going. But it makes no difference to his build-up until those races. So whatever race he goes to, it makes no difference to what we do with him in the meantime. So both are still options at the moment. I also got Urban Icon in the Jersey, who looks a very good horse. Very unlucky not to win last time in the Surrey Stakes on Oaks Day. We picked that out before the Jean Prat, and he should be very competitive too.
And NERIUM, of course, provided you with that landmark 1,000 success in the...
Sweetie, she's such a sweet filly. She's not overly big, and she's not impressive when you see her. If anyone makes the effort to go and see her at the races, she doesn't fill the eye much, but she's got a heart like a lion, and she's probably the best stallion in the world. And every time you need one, she's sort of there. She was very tough to win the other day. She was unlucky at Goodwood. She's won 2 Group 3s before that. There's a big race in her. She doesn't have to have soft ground, but it appears it stops a lot of the others, and she deals with it very well. She might win something like a Rothschild. She'll be very competitive at Royal Ascot. She would have got a lot of confidence from the other day, and she's a very gutsy, sweet filly. You know, every time if you're going to back her, she's trying hard, and that's all you can ask for.
And that is, of course, in the Duke of Cambridge, where you've also got your Guineas winner,
Billesdon
Billesdon Brook.
Yes, so they're owned by similar people. Billesdon might go there. I've been a bit concerned about her. Her last race was her best run for a fair while, I thought. She showed a bit of her old zest. She travelled very well. I changed her from Heritage to Everly to changed her to the other yard. I did that with Beat Bonnet. It just freshens them up, and all of a sudden they start winning races. They're like a new man. But we haven't decided which one to run yet. They ran both of them in the Guineas. So they might choose to do that again at Royal Ascot.
Okay, the Royal Hunt Cup, Richard, is always a really competitive, hard race to win, massive anti-post betting race.
They're all hard to win at Royal Ascot, I'm just saying.
Yeah, they are indeed, yeah. You've got quite a few entries this year. Just quickly, this is Red Starlight, War Glory, Kesar, Mr. Tyrrell, Naham. Mr. Tyrrell, I should say, Naham. But a new inmate to you, though, George of Hearts, from your former jockey.
Yes, well, Hughesy sort of got sick of him, tearing away on the gallops like he's Frankel. And I've seen it myself. He brought him here to work one day. And I said, what was that? He pretended he was bringing up another one to work and just sent him up there. I said, what was that behind? I thought you'd see that, he said. And it was George of Hearts. And he sent him to the races. Same thing happened again. On the bridle, let him down, didn't go anywhere. So he's sent him here just to give him a bit of a change and see if that can perk him up a bit. Don't worry, if he starts running well, I'll be told to send him back. He's obviously a very talented horse, and he's just trying to get the best out of him. You know, what he was concerned would happen was that he would send him to the sales, and the owners would sell him, obviously. And he's come down the handicap. They've done the hard work, and someone can come and get him and have the best part of him. And rather than do that, he thought it's better off send him here and see if we can make that happen. I've seen him work myself. He's a very good horse, but for some reason he doesn't do it or hasn't done it yet on the track. But we're going to change his mind for him, hopefully.
So is the plan that the Hunt Cup with him?
Well, I think it's an option. We'll wait and see. He's going to do a bit of work towards the end of the week.
And of your other entries,
Hughesy might ride him. Do you think we should get him back into riding? That might be the changing of him.
Of your other entries, which
War Glory.
War Glory,
who is probably the horse of the year for me so far. Yeah, he's run some fantastic races. I thought he was unlucky not to win at Epsom last time, and he won very well on Saturday. The owner's very keen to go to Royal Ascot. Mohammed Al Shahi was third, I think, in the Coventry a few years ago, and he's very keen for him to take his chance. And he's the sort of horse that he's going to run well in any handicap, as long as he gets a bit of cover. He's blind in one eye, you know. That's why he kept getting beaten at Chelmsford. As in his right eye, he couldn't see them coming on the outside. He used to run, and he got beaten by 2 short heads once, and then he got beaten somewhere else going left-handed. But he obviously could see, because he made ground late, he could see the horse on his left, got past him, and won. So he's a lovely horse and a pleasure to have around, and he'll run well. I've run him every week, more or less, so far, but I'm working on getting him an HGV licence, so he can drive himself to the races. He'll run well in whatever handicap he goes for, and if he's on the right side and gets a bit of luck, he could be very competitive. Walk in the Sand, he ran a very good race at Newmarket at the Guineas meeting. A little disappointed he didn't win, but he couldn't get past the horse of Sheikh Mohammed Abeid, so obviously he's a good horse. Little disappointed when we brought him back to a mile at Sandown. He's got a good race in him, this fella, and he's a big, strong, good-looking horse, and he will get better as time goes on. I think this might be the right trip for him. I think that's his gig, and hopefully he'll run well at Royal Ascot. We don't have to go there because his owner at Sight to Hell is very keen that we just go steady and keep him for next year, and he wants to take him to Dubai in time. So he's not certain to go, but he's good enough to go if we need him.
Raymond Tusk, always going to be up against it with Crystal Ocean last time, but I thought he actually ran a good race and sort of.
Do you know the mistake we made? I think is we tried to win the race. If we'd have ridden him to be second, he probably would have been second. But I think Jamie thought he was going so well. He thought, and for a few strides, he looked like he was going to win. But he was beaten by a better horse on the day. I love the way he tries so hard, this horse, and we have pitched him in some pretty big races, and he's run well every time. A Gold Cup, it's a long way, and he's got to take on the horse that we beat us at Ascot in May. But I think we gave him £5 that day, which is a lot of weight. That race was 2 miles. Gold Cup obviously is a long way. It will be a very good race. He's probably a 16-1 chance, but he'll run with credit. 66-1 shots do win classics, Brett.
Indeed.
So, 16-1, 20-1, whatever he is.
They can finish second to him as well at 66-1.
Yeah, true. Well, that's not a great accolade, but we go with the winner. If he was second in the Gold Cup, I'd take that right now. Do you promise? Will you be second?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Do you think? Look at further down the line. Do you see him?
Yes.
Do you see him as a proper cup?
They take a long time to make these horses. He's very clear-winded. He's sound. He gets a trip. He's by the right stallion, High Chaparral. He gets a trip. When you do get a good one, it's just so important to hang on to them as long as you can. There are races for him all around Europe, down in Australia, Hong Kong, wherever you want, for a lot of money. And we are going to, so his whole plan is to bear that in mind so we can keep him with some sort of longevity in mind. If we're overfacing ourselves in the Gold Cup, we can always come down.
Okay. The Britannia handicap, massively open race for 3-year-olds. Always, as you said, hard to win. This one particularly. Beat Le Bon, you thought the world of him this time last year. Almost.
I do now this year.
Yeah, but he's come back.
After
he was impressive.
Yeah, he owed me. He owed me big time. He looked a very good horse when he won the other day, and I think that represents more of what I see of him. Dobbsy got off him and said, all we've got to do is hold him up. He says, he's a very good horse. Gave me a lovely feel. Hold him up at Royal Ascot and we could have a massive chance. It's slightly unfortunate because you don't know if you're on the wrong side or the right side, and it changes every race. So that's a question you can't answer until you're sort of 2 furlongs down in the big one. But he will be very competitive. He is just coming right at the right time to win a Britannia, and he's got the ability. You can't win it with a handicap rating of 75, 85 like you used to. It's not really, it is a handicap, but it's not really anymore. You have to be 95 or more to get in it. So it's sort of a race that's become like the Melbourne Cup. It's not really a handicap, there's probably £7 between the lot of them. But he's a very good horse, and he's coming in there on the back of a very good win, and hopefully that would have done his confidence a lot of good.
We beat Le Bon's off 101. Off 103 is Mutafawit, who won at Ascot,
Yes.
and that form, of course, has been franked with all winning at Newmarket at the weekend.
Yeah, we gave him weight that day as well. Mutafawit, he's improved all year. He just gets to the front and wanders around a little bit, but that's probably inexperience more than anything. He's been pretty lightly raced, and since he won at Ascot, this Britannia has been the plan since then, and he's a good horse, and we haven't got to the bottom of him yet, and hopefully the handicapper hasn't either. Unlike him, he normally takes no chances, but this one, I don't know. While he's still winning, I suppose he's still well handicapped.
And what about Masaru? Perhaps a little bit disappointing at
my
Haydock
dad's got a
last time.
share, yeah, and we thought he was a good horse. When he won the Isha Cup, Ryan got off him and said he could be a very good horse, and he went to Haydock and ran a funny race. He was on the outside, picked up for 100 yards and then just didn't. He's better than that, and he'll come back to Royal Asacot, and he'll need to be better than that, won't he? But he's a horse that has shown us he's a good horse. Ryan Moore says that when he gets off him, you sort of have to listen. You know, he's ridden a lot of good horses, and hopefully he's right. I'd like to see him ride him, but I have a feeling it might not be possible.
Yafta?
Yafta is one of my favourites. He's a very sound horse, and I was pleased with his last run. Halfway through the race, I was thinking, oh, he's going to run horrible. Going past the line, he's third, and I thought, oh, I'll take that. He's run very well. It's a very quick 6 furlongs up there. I think the Royal Ascot 6 will suit him a lot more. They'll go a lot quicker. He'll be able to find a bit of cover. I'm hopeful he could run a big race. He's a very good horse with a lot of ability, and I have a feeling he might want 7 after this. And the Golden Jubilee is not really a race you can pick up on the way to running over 7, but you know, he's a good horse over 6. He's won 2 Group 3s, so he clearly is very good at 6. He might want 7 in time, as I said, but he'll run a big race in the Golden Jubilee.
And finally, the Woking, you've got 2, but should we just focus on Buridan? Is he a possible after winner?
Buridan, it depends what the handicapper does him. I think he's 87 now. He probably needs to be a bit higher than that to get into the Wokingham. It depends what the handicapper does. 2 probably quite good horses on Saturday night at Lingfield, and there was a long way back to the 3rd and 4th. There's a chance he might get in, but if he doesn't, there's a lot of good handicaps around for him nowadays anyway.